The brand new Rev7 Serato DJ Pro Serato Stems update. It's out, something we've all been waiting for a long time. An update to Serato and the Rev7 where you got native stems. So I was just waiting until it was all set up and all ready. And they have the EQ on the knob. So this is an update that you really want to do. It came out last week, but I was at the club on Saturday. So I do not recommend doing updates like this right before a gig. I know a lot of people who do updates right before gigs and something bad always happens. So it's best to find a good time to do this where you have some time to test it out. Unfortunately, I have my turntable set up upstairs, so we're gonna be doing this in my kitchen, but I have my screen record on. You're gonna see everything that I do as we do it. So let's hop into the video, let's go. So first things first, you're gonna go to Serato, to the website. You're gonna go to Serato DJ Pro or DJ Lite, whatever program you're using. If you have a Rev7, Serato DJ Pro comes unlocked. So you don't need to buy Serato DJ Pro if you have a controller like this. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is grab your Pioneer Rev7 firmware. So I'm just typing Rev7 firmware. It's gonna be the first result on Google. So you just come here, you download it, grab your firmware update. So you wanna grab the firmware update right here, but you also want to get the drivers just in case. So just grab your drivers as well. All right, so it just finished downloading. Depending where you saved it, you're just gonna open your file. I keep all of my Serato install files in the same folder, so you can do the same thing. I just keep old ones in case there ever is an issue. You have something to go back on that you know worked and you didn't have any issues with. So I always keep like old versions that I know are good. We're ready, install Serato DJ Pro. We're dropping this on our Macintosh hard drive. All right, so Serato install is complete. Next thing up, you're gonna grab your firmware and your driver update. So next up, you're just gonna unzip your Rev7 files here. So we're gonna open it with, all right, so we got our DMG here. We're just gonna double click the Rev7 install file, double click the Rev7 setting utility, continue, continue. All right, so next up, you're just gonna open up your Rev7 utility. All right, so you just want to make sure you got your update version 2.01. Right now we're on version 1.01. I probably didn't even update the firmware up until this point. So we're going to be on a brand new Rev7 after this. Make sure that it's connected USB-A. We're just going to make sure that's in A. It is, because you got an A and a B terminal. You just want to make sure that it's in A. And you know, just double check, always double check. You don't want to make a mistake on this. This is a very important step. Connect your USB terminal and hit start. We're good to go. You see everything blacked out and it's very clearly doing something here. You do not want to make a mistake during this. So I even got like my power out, got my power cable out, got my Furman power conditioner. If you don't have a Furman power conditioner, I will definitely put the link in the comments. You want to have, like, you've spent so much money on this Rev7. You want to make sure that the power that you're giving this controller is clean. So this is conditioning the power that you get. It's trying to remove any dirty power, like dirty electricity that might give you like hums or even like surges that could damage the equipment. You just want to make sure that your gear is always in tip-top shape. So I recommend getting a Furman power conditioner. And I will drop the link in the comments. Boom. Everything's good. It's rebooting. You'll see it disconnected over here in the utility as well. I'm just going to close these out. I don't need these here. I'm always going to want to make sure these are nice and clean. So let's make a new folder here, Rev7. So we're going to bring all this over here. So this is also something you want to do. It popped up a window. This is something that's going on with Mac. You want to make sure that Mac is able to add, it says keystrokes here. So you just want to come here, make sure you hit this little unlock button and then hit the check mark on here and then lock it back up. And that should be it. I think that's it. We're back in the utility. Let's check out about. We are on firmware version 2.0.1. So I am coming out of, like, I was on the original. This is like the first shipment of Rev7s. I've never touched it, which is kind of crazy because I've heard of so many people having so many issues with theirs. I had the literal first version of this on like the day that it was shipped. I got it the next day, the day that it launched. So I got one of the very first versions. I've never had a problem with my controller. I feel that the love and care that you put into your equipment is gonna choose kind of whether you have good gear or not. Like if you're smoking around this thing, not cleaning it off, not like you're just letting dust build on it, you don't really care. I'm always consistently dusting it off, keeping it clean, doing as much as I can. I've never had a problem. And I feel like if you treat your gear with respect, it's gonna last forever. There's no reason that it should break. But anyways, we're in here right off the hop. I know that there's a few things that we do want to do when we want to come here to preferences. So now we have got the 3345 button long press. When you originally have it, if you touch it here by accident, this happens so many times when you're in the club playing, you hit this by accident, it's gonna change you to 45 RPM mode. We don't want that no more. We want this on a long press. Like if you want this to ever change, you wanna hold it, because it's very rare that, especially on a digital controller, you're ever gonna play at 45 mode. You don't want that to accidentally come on. This has messed me up so many times. I am very thankful that this update is here. So that is just long press. You wanna make sure this is on long press. There's almost no reason for you not to do this. So very important. Low speed stabilizer. This is gonna help it from ever like messing up when it's playing slow, having like warped sounding files. So important. Over here, crossfader, like I put mine on 1. It's up to you. This is how to like over curve it. So I'm actually gonna put it to 0 and we'll see how that feels. I like it as sharp and as tight as possible. So we're just gonna check and see how that rocks. If you've made any changes to your sound effects, you are gonna have to come in here and change that. Again, I keep everything pretty default. I'm not big on stuff like this, so really up to you. This is actually cool. I haven't even looked at this, but you got your color effects here. I don't use filter much anymore now that we have stems, so this might be a good place for me to like bring in noise. I love having noise on a filter, so it's nice that you have these color effects. It's annoying that you can only have one and that you have to kind of come in here and change it all the time. Again, I'm a set it and forget it kind of guy, so I'm gonna leave it on filter for now, but depending how these stems work out, I might actually change that finally. And this is cool. I've never seen this, but it says pod mode. You can change it by just a double press instead of shift press. Seems like you can just double tap it. I've never done that, so that's cool. I'm gonna turn that on. And it seems like I lost my artwork. So if you did have artwork on your controller, you're gonna have to upload that again. Apart from that, I think that's everything we need to worry about. So now we're gonna jump into Serato. Let's go. It's updated. Make sure you do this right. Plug your stuff in. You do not want to make a mistake when you're updating your firmware, because you can literally brick it like that. So take the time, get yourself a power conditioner. Do not have a mistake if you're going to do this. Very important. This is a serious thing. Don't mess around when you're updating firmware. If you're updating Serato only, no problem, but firmware is important. All right, we're gonna jump into the new Serato here, 3.1.2. You got all the new support for the new Alpha Theta hardware. You got the Omnis Duo, Euphonia, and here we have it right here, the update for Pioneer Rev7. Unlock new stem capabilities, stem mute, stem separate, and the stem level. What that's gonna be is your EQ. You're gonna be able to balance your stems onto your EQ, which is a huge upgrade, because right now when you use stems, it's very harsh, especially when you're in a live setting in a big room system. It's very harsh when you turn or kill one of the stems. You're gonna get this little bit of an audio boost that you have to kind of jump around with the fader if you know how to play with it right. But now I'm hoping that this kind of allows you to like just bleed it out very gently and make nicer, cleaner mixes with stems. And then it just says to access these features, all you gotta do is update your firmware, which we've already done, so no problems there. Bang, bang. What you're gonna see too is I don't have Serato. I still don't have Serato, never paid for it, because I have this controller here. It's gonna unlock Serato, and almost any like mid-tier controller is always gonna give you that option that it just comes free. So don't let anyone sucker you into it. Sorry, Serato, but don't let no one sucker you into buying Serato Pro. Once you get a better controller, when you have more of a need for it, it's gonna come free. So pro tip right there. All right, so right off the hop, we're just gonna go to the settings and we can see right here, replace primary hardware pad mode with stems. The same way the Rev5 is set up, I'm assuming it's just identical, and they put these in because they knew before, like the Rev7 came out before stems even existed. So this is probably just like I knew that this was just a lead in to having these pad modes. So I never actually went in and MIDI mapped it myself, but now it's gonna be nice to have actual dedicated buttons. All right, so we should be good to go. We should be able to play a track here. So let's just pick whatever. First things first. So we do have the pad mode button change where you have to long press the 45 button. Enough times I've been having this issue where you accidentally hit this 45 button and it's gonna absolutely destroy your mix because it's playing at a different speed. Now you have to long press for it to change, which is like a godsend. Thank you. That's an incredible update. And then for the next one, you just got to hold shift, and then you got, for your left deck, you're gonna hit flanger, and then for your right deck is reverb. So this is gonna activate your stem on EQ. So what that means is normally you got your stems here, you got your stems built in here. But what that can do is when you're in the mix and you're cutting the drums or something, a big part of that track, you're taking away 25% of that track. So immediately you're gonna have this vocal boost and this issue where if your other track as well doesn't have that kind of layer there to fill it in, you're gonna have a big noticeable change in that track. So what I'm hoping with these stems EQs is that really kind of flattens that out where it's not a big issue. So let me actually load in 2 different tracks here. We're gonna do a quick little mix here and see how it sounds. Unfortunately, I just got my laptop speakers, but I have this recording. So hopefully you guys can get a good audio feed of this. So we got this coming in. I'm actually just gonna kill the stem so you can hear it first.
Raindrop, drip, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot pot, cooking, fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up dope in the crock pot. We came from nothing to something, nigga. Hey, I don't trust nobody, grip the trigger, nobody. Call up the gang and they come and get jammed. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. Bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas, yo, my diamonds are choker. Holding up fire with no holster. Read the ruler, diamond cooler. This a roller, not a mule. Hey, dabbing on them like they dabbing on them, 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 like they dabbing on them. Bitch.
So it sounds pretty clean, I'd say. Pretty clean. Let's run one more.
Then never mind what I got. Nigga, don't watch that, cause I came up, that's all me. Stay true, that's all me. No help, that's all me. All me for real. Came up, that's all me. Stay true, that's all me. No help, that's all me. All me for real.
My mind used to think the same. J's on, pinky ring. Dog and toes, I need 14 and the same leave, we don't all the same. Oh, you want all the fame.
Baby, won't you come my way?
So it sounds all right. It sounds all right. I definitely have to get this on like a real system, kind of feel it out for real, but that felt nice. You got definitely a lot more control. I'm not gonna say a little more. You got a lot more control on those stems. I guess the way they kind of activate it is as you're killing the EQ as you normally would, once it kind of gets to that point where they can finally kill the actual stem itself, then it's gonna hit that point. You see them on the pad modes as you're killing it, but sounds really good. I'm impressed. Amazing update. Normally I don't ever update anything of mine, but this was so big I had to actually do the full update, updated the firmware. I was on version 1. We are now in the future. Let's go. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Let's go.